Ma never na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Ashafone TV me mo bibiara kwaba eba PENDREAM TV. Ediani ejrimu ewo parliament na mepeso beka me honiati ensema Afenyo ken ekafa the majority team ne ho. Na Afenyo ken etere majority for no eba parliament ekura dede nko ano moye. Ensem we na msoma Sam George responded to Afenyo ken ensem no. Na Sam George etere Afenyo ken interest asem no sign. On apologize to the majority team no. Ensem ahodo bi ka we ho na ye de brew. Mepeso beka me honiati ensem enchiremu. So subscribe or ya message so baby subscribe button. Now click the bell notification icon. The audience will comment section. Like in a shade you made ma for answer and come. Come on 90 and send me injury.
Mr. Speaker, this thing started some few weeks back. I decided to ignore, but today and this very time I want to respond. Mr. Majority Leader, most respectfully, I shall continue to accord you every respect. Please allow debate to flow. It is very clear to me, that you are not ready to listen to dissenting views, and particularly those who come here to heckle. They come in during voting time. Those who really want to debate, they stay. We have few of you who stay in for debate. When it gets to voting, you are whipped in, and all you come is to make noise and distract and to be heckling. Mr. Speaker, the point here is the finance minister should stand down this bill. There should be further consultation on this matter. The industry players have issued a statement.
I recognize the minister responsible for communication.
The industry players
yes, Minister for Communication
have expressed some concerns.
Honorable Minority Leader, I recognize the Minister for Communication.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we are all colleagues in the House. For the Minority Leader to say that some of us don't come to the chamber and we are only whipped in to come and make noise when it's time to vote is offensive and must be withdrawn because it is unparliamentary. He must apologize and withdraw.
Yes, Minority Whip.
Speaker, you had earlier recognized the Minister for Communication to speak. Speaker, may I refer you to Order 115? Order 115. The Minister for Communication is in direct breach of Order 115, and therefore I invite you to rule him out of order. Yes, and his comments should be expunged from the records. Check. Open your records. Open your orders. Go and sit on your seat. Mr. Speaker, I am in my seat, and Mr. Speaker, I want to state for the records that in this House, it is unparliamentary, it is unbecoming, and it is unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, if it was any of the first timers at the back who who fail to attend orientation, who are going to behave that way, we will forgive them. But not when it is the Osahini who is the minority leader. He must set a good example. He must withdraw and apologize to this side of the house. And so, Mr. Speaker, he must withdraw.
Honorable Chris Minyako, please resume your seat. Honorable Nitiru.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I think the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, the minority leader was still on his feet when my good friend, the communication minister, got up to interrupt him. I know that. But Mr. Speaker, the reason I rose up is because you ever ruled here that when the leaders are on their feet, it is only the two leaders who can rise up on a point of order against them. I want your guidance on it. Whether we are still sticking by the same rules or the rules have changed. Because Sam George is not sitting here. He is now a minister. And I've also seen a new person sitting at the front bench, and he's been shouting. He keeps shouting and banging the table. Mr. Speaker, he would either he goes to sit at his place or he behaves as a leader. I should not be banging the table. But Mr. Speaker, I really need your guidance on the first point I raised. I thank you very much.
Honorable members, let's get it clear. When you are on your feet speaking, we listen with a rapt attention. Honorable members, when you are debating and you are out of order, sometimes we know. It is at that point that if a member is on his feet, we are inclined to listen to that member. Honorable members, when there is no issue or point of order and you are on your feet, the speaker may ignore you. Honorable members, let's be guided by the rules. For you to say that some members will not come to the chamber, they only come to make noise. Let's consider this statement as to whether it is offensive or it is not offensive. Honorable members, though the leaders have a right to debate without interruption, does not necessarily mean that when a clear case is made, I will not listen to the member. Honorable members, if the use of the word, some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to the chamber to make noise, according to our rules, is offensive, then I will call on the minority leader to do the needful and let's make progress.
Mr. Speaker, before I proceed with my submissions, let me, in accordance with your directive, restate my point that members must be patient and listen in silence. I keep reminding the majority backbench that if they disrespect our front bench, they shouldn't expect the leader of the house to be respected. Because, Mr. Speaker, when the leader is on his feet, we try to listen. Even this afternoon, the leader went below the belt, but I restrained myself. Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker, I believe that it is unacceptable to be yelling, recklessly heckling when a leader is on his feet making an argument. And Mr. Speaker, you did indicate that on such occasions where there will be even the need to interrupt, it should take the leader to interrupt me. But not when backbenchers will be shouting and all that. But, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when they start heckling, they start hiding their faces. Be bold and let me identify you. When we meet at the coffee area, you and I. Show your faces. Let me see. Mr. Speaker, that is on a lighter note. It's all right. Mr. Speaker, all we are saying is that this government must act in good faith. Be quiet.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Minority
this
Leader.
government must act in good faith.
Honorable Minority Leader, I urge upon you to do the honorable thing and let's make progress. So please, Honorable Minority Leader, please.
Speaker, so my colleagues at the backbench, respectfully, let's have some tolerance to listen to one another. I promise you that to the extent that you will be quiet and listen, you won't be hearing phrases like you are making noise. You won't hear that. So you be quiet. Don't make the room noisy. Don't make the chamber noisy. Just be quiet. Mr. Speaker, I would want to encourage the government by way of conclusion that the government should act in good faith.
Honorable Minority Leader, I humbly call upon you to do the honorable thing.
I'm concluding. I will say it. I will do it in conclusion. Please, leave that to me. Mr. Speaker, the government must act in good faith by standing down this bill for further consultation. That said, I would want to take away the aspect of my submission that my colleagues who were heckling were making noise. And that I would also urge them not to be doing that again. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much.
Honorable members, a point of order was raised when a minority leader was speaking. Honorable members, the words that some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to make noise, is ordered to be expunged out of the record as offensive and against our own standing order 1232. I accordingly direct. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have been asked whether the government believes in the private sector. Mr. Speaker, today, the government brought proposals to this House to abolish a number of taxes. And all those taxes that were abolished inure to the well-being of the private sector. We just approved the abolition, the repeal of the e-levy. And in doing that, government is allowing the private sector to keep 2 billion Ghana cedis. 2 billion Ghana cedis. We were asked whether government is concerned about the private sector. Let's just keep ourselves in the realm of the mining industry. There are 2 categories of miners in this country. We have the small-scale miners, and then we have the large-scale miners. The large-scale miners very often are not even owned by Ghanaians. The small-scale miners are mostly owned by Ghanaians. And in this chamber today, we have made tax concessions in favor of the small-scale miners, withholding taxes that they ought to have held their gold after they have mined. We have repealed those provisions in our income tax legislation, leaving no money in the hands of small-scale miners. This just happened today in this chamber. And in relation to the large-scale miners, we are saying that gold prices have increased astronomically. In some cases, about 100% are hardly benefiting from the increase in the prices of gold. Mr. Speaker, don't forget that when you extract gold, it is gone and gone forever. So if you gave somebody a mining concession at a time when gold prices were low, and on the basis of the low to that person, when gold prices increase astronomically, it is only equitable that you share some of the increment with that person. It's only equitable, only fair. And Mr. Speaker, when you read the report, the committee itself outlined it, that the World Bank has indicated that the economic rent that is kept by the miners is 14%. 14%, the economic rent. 14%. And we're only asking them for 1.5% of that. That is the old tax regime. And this government is saying that let's move it a little higher to 3%. 3% of 14%. The global figure is 14%. So we're only asking for 3% of 14%. It is not even 3% to reduce it to, let's say, they're now keeping 11%. No, it is 3% of the 14%. When you do the actual calculations, we are only taking even less than 1%. Less than 1%, if you really do the calculations.
Majority Leader, I recognize the Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I just want the Majority Leader to notice the patience, the disciplines, the silence on this side. You see? There we go. There we go. Mr. Speaker, they kept quiet and listened to him. Anytime our side is up, you hear the noise. We were quiet listening to him. Mr. Speaker, after the Majority Leader's submissions, we are going to take a vote. We have counted you. You are 78. You are 78. You must have your numbers. The fact that you are going to have the yes vote does not and get counted. If you don't come, we cannot count you.
Honorable members, one of the bases for which a debate should be interrupted under Order 122. Honorable Majority Leader, you have the floor. Majority Leader, you have the floor. Majority Leader, you have the floor. Honorable Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader complains about being disrespected when he's on his feet. But Mr. Speaker, when a Minority Leader rises on a point of order to interrupt the debate of a Majority Leader, only to show that his side is silent, Mr. Speaker, you will definitely get the response that you get from this side. Because it is not a point of order. It is not a point of order. When I speak and people are silent, it is because I do whatever I can to focus on the subject matter. To focus on the subject matter. Mr. Speaker, please, let's keep to the rules. Let's keep to the rules. If we keep to the rules and we argue in ways that are consistent with our rules, we will get the corresponding response from either side. Mr. Speaker, the point I was making is that I've heard my friends on the other side complain that the tax is on profit. Mr. Speaker, the problem we have with the mining industry is that if you wait for them to declare profit before you tax, very often they will find ways and means of reporting to you that there was no profit. In most industries, if you are waiting for them to declare profit, all they will do to you is to pad production costs and engage in ingenious pricing and accounting mechanisms that make it impossible for you to even tax them. And that is why in the extractive industry, it is difficult to wait for them to declare profit before you tax them. And Mr. Speaker, this government is not the one that started taxing the industry before profit. This is not the government that started taxing them before profit. All we are seeking to do is to continue an innovative tax regime that you devised. You devised the tax regime. We are only extending a tax regime that you found very, very convenient and appropriate. Mr. Speaker, when you imposed the tax in 2023, you called it Growth and Sustainability Levy. Growth and Sustainability Levy. And the committee's report says that the levy was to be imposed on profit before tax of companies and institutions and on production in the case of mining, upstream oil and gas companies specified in the first code. This was a tax devised by the regime in order to deal with the challenge of growth and sustainability that confronted this country in 2023. And this country agreed. Mr. Speaker, we are not yet out of the woods. Indeed, growth inched up. We grew by 5.7%. We have huge arrears. We haven't paid our debts. We haven't paid the arrears. And so it is necessary for us to continue with this tax legislation to deal with the problem that it was devised to cure. That is why we are continuing with this tax instrument. And in the case of the mining industry, that is why we are increasing the tax rate. Mr. Speaker, it only continues with the policy of the NDC government to focus on the rich to support the poor. That is in keeping with our social democratic orientation. That as a social democratic party, in one day, we will repeal e-levy about the fact that their extractive industry about the fact that their extractive industries are not taxed enough. The resources are getting depleted and Ghanaians are not seeing benefit from the natural resources that God has endowed us with. Indeed, there are many who think that this tax measure is not even enough. In many jurisdictions, it is not that easy for you to get concessions on the terms that we give to the mining companies operating in our country. In many jurisdictions, you can't go into the country and own, let's say, 90% mineral rights. You can't find it. I have been consulting for people in the mining industry, and I have traveled to other jurisdictions. They won't allow you to own up to 90% of mining rights. In some jurisdictions, you will be lucky if you are able to retain 50% of mining rights. Yes, they will give you an opportunity to deduct your cost of production, but when it comes to the profit, they will want to share with you almost equally. So this country has been very, very magnanimous. And that is why it is time for us to begin to reset the economy. And reset the economy also means that resetting the terms of the relationship between Ghanaians and the operators in the extractive industry. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge our colleagues to support this policy because we need to continue to sustain the growth. They have said that the 4% that we have even set is unambitious. If we are to even retain the 5.7% growth, we need these policies. If these policies enabled us to grow last year by 5.7%, why do you think we should take them out? Why do you think we should take them out? When you are urging us to try and sustain that growth. So, Mr. Speaker, let me urge our colleagues that let us not drag this. You've seen the results of the first vote. It was obvious. There is no need for us to vote on this matter. Our colleagues are not far away from the chamber. A few of them are breaking their fast and are just around. If you put us to a vote, I can assure you that the numbers that we challenged earlier, the results of the second vote will exceed that. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think it is necessary. I'm urging my colleagues to listen to the finance minister to wind up, and then we can conclude on the matter.
Honorable Finance Minister, your concluding remarks.
Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to thank your good self and members of Parliament for their contribution. Mr. Speaker, it is important for me to clarify some few points. First, Mr. Speaker, the statement that came from the Honorable Kojo Oponkroma that we are taxing all mining companies and what is happening to manganese companies and the rest. Mr. Speaker, the answer is that the focus is not on manganese companies, only on gold mining companies. And so if you look at the bill that was submitted in the committee's report, the answer is that we are not taxing all extractive industry. It is only gold mining companies. Mr. Speaker, secondly, there was a comment that is the government compromising growth? Mr. Speaker, the answer is the government is not compromising growth. Mr. Speaker, you don't tax sectors that are not doing well. I cannot decide to add additional taxes on agriculture. And Mr. Speaker, and I cannot, for example, decide to tax the cocoa that is not doing well. Or decide to tax the ordinary Ghanaian whose living standard has deteriorated over the years, including the tax on sanitary pads. That is not what I'm seeking to do. Mr. Speaker, when the cost of living has deteriorated over the years, my tax policy should not be targeting those ordinary Ghanaians that are not doing well. Mr. Speaker, the gold sector is doing exceedingly well. It's doing exceedingly well. So it's only rational. It's only rational and prudent for a Minister of Finance to identify the sector that is throwing out abnormal profit and tax them accordingly. Mr. Speaker, the fact remains that we are all politicians. Mr. Speaker, we are all politicians. We have our political parties and our lineages. Mr. Speaker, but there comes a time that you decide to support your country. Mr. Speaker, the time is now. When mining companies are making abnormal profit, you are saying that we shouldn't tax them, but we should rather tax the ordinary? Is that what you are suggesting? Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is that mining companies are doing well. And so I'm surprised that you are opposing this progressive tax. Mr. Speaker, this tax is progressive. E-levy is regressive. Mr. Speaker, betting tax is regressive. We are introducing a progressive tax. That is what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, aside that, all what we are saying is that we are social democrats. We believe in protecting the poor. We believe that if the rich or companies are making good profit, tax them and redistribute it. Mr. Speaker, the tax that is coming in, the tax as we are going to benefit from, we are going to use that to increase the school feeding program. We are using that to increase the allocation going to the LEAP. Mr. Speaker, we are using those taxes to buy sanitary towels for school girls. That is called redistribution. That is what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, that's what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, for the records, this tax, growth and sustainability levy, was introduced to this House in April 2023. Mr. Speaker, for the records, April 2023, this tax replaced the original National Fiscal Stabilization Levy. Mr. Speaker, for the records again, at the time, the National Fiscal Stabilization Levy did not include a number of taxes. This tax, when MPP decided at the time to introduce the growth and sustainability levy, the party that said they believe in private sector imposed 5% profit before tax on bulk oil distribution companies. Mr. Speaker, they imposed 5% profit before tax on oil marketing companies. Mr. Speaker, they imposed 5% profit before tax on communication tower companies. Mr. Speaker, they imposed 5% profit before tax on companies providing upstream petroleum services. Mr. Speaker, the same MPP that believes in private sector imposed 5% profit before tax on companies and institutions registered by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Mr. Speaker, it's the same MPP that introduced a new tax to this House, imposing a tax on electronic money services. Mr. Speaker, they did not only introduce e-levy, but rather they imposed 5% tax, 5% tax on electronic money issuers, mobile money companies. Mr. Speaker, is this a party that believes in private sector?
Let me recognize Minority Leader. Minority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister, Mr. Speaker, on a point of relevance, I rise on 2 points. Relevance. what the finance minister is trying to do is to take advantage of his closing remarks to get his people into the chamber to vote. That's exactly what he's doing. To extend, Mr. Speaker, the argument on the floor is very simple. You don't overtax a company that is doing well. You don't overtax a sector that is doing well. If they retain their profit, they reinvest to create employment, and you should know this. Mr. Speaker, the finance minister must sit down and listen. I listened to him. Mr. Speaker, because Mr. Speaker, he was misleading.
Honorable Minority Leader, a point of order is not an opportunity to re-argue.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not re-arguing. If you listen to me, Mr. Speaker, if you listen to me, I'm not re-arguing. It is his contention, Mr. Speaker, it is his contention that when a sector is doing well, that sector must be taxed for the purpose of redistribution. Mr. Speaker, that is not right. You are educating more jobs.
Let's take a look at standing order 122. Which one of them are you coming under?
Mr. Speaker, I think he should delete everything that he has said, because he has not raised any point of order. He's trying to debate.
I'm inclined to rule that the Minority Leader is completely out of order. Honorable Finance Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, for the records again. Mr. Speaker, for the records once again. As before April 2023, Ghana never had a tax of 1% of gross production for mining companies. Mr. Speaker, it was introduced by the MPP. For the first time in the history of Ghana, Mr. Speaker, at the time they introduced it, gold prices was $2,100 per ounce. Mr. Speaker, today gold prices have increased to $3,000. And you are saying what? Mr. Speaker, the very group of people that introduced that tax are saying that this tax is 1% of gross production. The same finance minister who introduced it has now turned around to say that this tax is 1% of gross production. Is he criticizing himself or criticizing his own policies? Is that what they are doing, or it's because the tables have turned? Mr. Speaker, I've said it and I'm saying it again. We all have our political parties, but Ghana first. Ghana first. Think about your country. Support your country to grow. Let your country benefit from the abnormal profits being accrued because of the international gold prices. Mr. Speaker, Ghana must benefit. Mr. Speaker, I've only been in the office as a Minister of Finance for less than 2 months. Mr. Speaker, at the right time, I will reappear. I will submit a proper legislation targeting taxation of economic rent. Mr. Speaker, countries have done it. Countries have done it. It is now time for Ghana to do same. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to that particular tax, we have failed as a country, and I'll take steps to correct that so that Ghana can benefit from that. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, I ask all members of the House to support this. To support this. To support this. Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader said that the Finance Minister is not listening to us. It's not listening. Mr. Speaker, I can't listen to an ill advice. I cannot accept an ill advice. Mr. Speaker, the people of Ghana have entrusted the NDC with the power to reset and help move the country forward. Mr. Speaker, we have identified sectors that can contribute their widow's mite to support the economic growth, and gold mining sector is one of them. We are not taxing them to collapse. We are asking them to contribute their widow's mite for economic development. So, Speaker, for information, in fact, as a result of the increase in the world market price for gold, more gold mining companies are coming to our country. And so, Mr. Speaker, the sector will boom and boom again. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, this government made promises to the ordinary Ghanaian. The impression that it created during the campaign was that there would be no taxes. The impression you created, which impression led to your victory, was to the effect that you will not tax industry. You would allow industry to retain their profit for reinvestment. Today, the Aboso kind people have been given a raw deal. You have imposed a levy on them and extended to 2028. Now you've got into the mining sector. Mr. Speaker, we are opposed to this because this government is not listening to the industry players. They are just in a hurry. In any event, let me ask a simple question. If you claim that this tax is already in existence and expires 31st December 2025, why are you in a hurry? It's getting to 9 p.m. It's getting to 9 p.m. Why are you in a hurry to rush it through? At least, if for nothing at all, why not maintain the 1%? Why are you increasing?
3%.
Clearly,
You are extending an increase.
today, your true colors have been exposed. You've exposed yourselves. Ghanaians have gotten to know who you are. You came to impose taxes on industry. Mr. Speaker, you claim you are repealing e-levy. You repeal e-levy in one with your left hand and collect more taxes with your right hand. Mr. Speaker, this is most unfair. And besides, you are increasing the period to 2028. Mr. Speaker, we are opposed to this. And Mr. Speaker, we will not wait to go to consideration stage. At this very stage of considering the principles, we will vote on this. We want Ghanaians to know that your majority is not a majority that cares. Your majority does not care about the ordinary Ghanaian and the business community. You are not even a listening majority in this chamber. You don't want to listen to the views we express for the right thing to be done. The finance minister will not listen. The finance minister will not listen to good counsel from the minority. because he's made up his mind that what he will do is what he will do. Mr. Speaker, we are going to vote against this. And we are not going to tolerate
Honorable
the
Minority Leader.
majority dictatorship in this chamber.
Honorable Minority Leader.
How can you increase?
I recognize Majority Leader. Majority Leader, you
how
have the
can you
floor.
do this?
Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader has given very clear indication the direction of things. He says they are going to oppose. Mr. Speaker, can we have an indication as to how much time, how much speaking time people should have on these matters? Because we are clear that even if you speak for 1 hour, we are going to vote in the end. So let's just go ahead and vote. Let's just go ahead and vote. So, Mr. Speaker, let's have a clear indication as to time for leadership to speak. Vote. Clear indication as to time for leadership to speak. Vote.
Honorable Minority Leader, try and conclude.
Subscribe to channel, like na share jumadi numa afoforo ensa enkabi.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.